bring on our guest because he's here, and we were talking about ECW. Sorry, easy confusion there. But this interview is actually a really long time coming. I'm very excited to have him on the air with us. A former ECW referee. More recently, you can catch him with the ECWA, and Jon Finegan joining us. What's going on, Jon? How you doing tonight?
Good. How you guys doing?
Doing good. It's good to see
John.
you. Good to see you.
Oh my gosh, she's there too.
I'm gonna hurt you.
With us, so did Dancing with the Stars? Did that end the way you wanted it to?
It did. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Erwin won. That was good. He was probably one of the best.
Really? Okay.
It's a good show. It was actually one of the better ones. Everybody was good.
Now, how do you make a jump from something like wrestling to Dancing with the Stars? I mean, it's not ballet.
No, I've always been a fan of. I always find it fascinating. People that can dance, that can sing, musicians. I just find the three of them just. I wish I could do them all. I just find them very, very good.
Okay.
And entertaining. Okay. So I just hooked onto it, and always that and American Idol are my two. I know I take heat for it all the time, but I love both those shows.
Well, you're definitely earnest about it. I see the updates all the time.
So. Absolutely.
Any comparisons there to be made with wrestling, like people that can kind of put together a bunch of different talents at once?
Yeah, I mean that as well, and just everybody has different tastes in entertainment, and that's definitely a form of it that seems to be very popular. It's been around 20 years, so they must be doing something right. And everybody likes their own thing.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. Yes. Now, you recently, and recently, I mean earlier this year, you announced your retirement from wrestling back in May. You had a handful of matches with ECWA, with the TWA reunion, and then you were gone. And we thought you were gone. In fact, we were setting up this interview kind of thinking like this is it, and you're back. What is it about wrestling that keeps pulling you back?
Yeah, well, I guess not officially I'm back. That damn Ryan keeps trying to talk me into things, and so far he has. To be honest with you, I loved the TWA reunion show. I thought the whole day was just a great time, and it was really nice of what a lot of people said about me. And I don't want to be that guy that goes in and out and back and forth, but honestly, I just was not happy with the final match I refed. I just didn't like it. It's not how I wanted to go out. I went home. I went home that night, and it's funny. My wife, who was there, and I had my daughter and some other family members, and she said to me the next day, she said, "Is that it? That's the match?" I said, "Yeah, funny you say that because I have a feeling that's not going to be it." I wasn't happy with it when I left and left that night, and she just rolled her eyes, and she wants me to just to stop. I always wanted to get to 40 years. I'm at 38 years now, and I thought I could go till I'm 60. I'm 58. So I was talking to Ryan Cavanaugh, who runs and owns ECWA, and he is planning on probably leaving promoting in a couple of years, 2027. So I said, well, that'll get me to my 40 years and 60 years old. So if you'll have me, maybe I will do the last 2 years, 2026 and 2027. So I'm leaning that way. We'll see how it goes.
Well, it's definitely been a really cool 38 years. I mean, you've experienced some things in wrestling that I think a lot of people only dream of. Do you ever look back on your career and just are amazed at some of the things that you've done?
It's funny because when I see, of course, everybody's got YouTube videos and podcasts and everything else, and they're putting stuff up on the internet. And Brady, sometimes I'll be watching a video from early 90s, and I'll say, "Wow, I can't remember that for the life of me." And there I am in the ring with these big name superstars, and it's been a great ride. I've been very fortunate to be able to share a ring with a lot of cool people, and get to know a lot of great people and good people like yourself and others that I've learned, I've met and became actual friends until this day. And it's been a fun ride so far.
Any particular memory jump out at you as like, yeah, like this is it for you?
As past memory,
yeah, like something from the past that like really was special to you.
It's funny. It was different. I think I was like in stages. I started in 1986, and back then, I think the big thing is I've seen, like you said earlier, the change in the business over the years, just from one thing to another. And I've been lucky enough to go through, I don't know, 3 or 4 different changes, business wise, wrestling wise. One, of course, being ECW, who was instrumental in changing a part of the business at the time. Some say for the good, some say for the bad. I'm probably 50-50 on that. It probably did a little bit of both.
Okay.
But yeah, I've been lucky. I was trained by Dick Worley, mentored by Joel Goodhart, Todd Gordon, and Paul Heyman. That's not a bad little group to have a career with, and I owe a lot to all those guys. And that probably was what jumps out to me the most. That I was a kid, 5 years old, watching with my grandmother, and here I am meeting these different people I watched on TV and getting to work with those 4 gentlemen. And it's just the whole thing has been it's just been a fun time.
Now, when you were in ECW, obviously you were there for the duration of it. The ECW that most people knew. I'm not even talking like the Cabrini days or whatever.
Right.
But which definitely was cool in and of itself. You guys should check it out on Peacock while it's still there. Did you realize how special that company was and how significant it was, how it was going to change things? Were you aware of that, or were you just kind of going week to week at that point?
In the beginning, I would say no. Yeah, just to touch, you were saying I was there from the beginning. There's only 2 people that were there from day one to the final show, and that was me and Jim Molyneux. There's nobody else that can make that claim that they were there from day one to the last day. Everybody was in and out. And we were the only 2. But I mean, in the beginning, I mean, when I first started, I was heavily booked through the Athletic Commission in Jersey. So I did a lot of shows through that and met a lot of people through that. And that was a different time in the business. And then we got into TWA and then TWA eventually into Eastern. And I guess in the early days in Eastern, I mean, it was a great time, good time in the business, but it wasn't. You didn't feel anything special was going on. I think as it grew, it kind of started to build traction with people, and then when we got into the Extreme, then you started. I mean, we started in that ECW arena, and there was 100 people in there. And slowly the word was getting around what was going on, and crowds were getting bigger, shows were getting bigger. The word around the wrestling business was starting to grow, and I guess as it went along, you if you stepped back and thought about it, there was something going on that was different and exciting that people really latched onto.
You mentioned like different and exciting, and like my intro to ECW, I'll never forget because my friend JR used to come over every Monday and we'd watch Raw, and then back and forth between Nitro at some point. But early on, I want to say maybe early 94, he said to me, I found this late night wrestling show. It's called ECW, and it's amazing. And I think it's real. I think they really hurt each other. I think that I don't think that they planned this out. I think that this is like as close to real as you're going to get. And like for me, watching it, especially, I guess I was like 13 or 14 years old. Like, yeah, that's. I mean, I'm not saying that I automatically thought it was real. It had a real feel to it, which like a lot of the stuff that you were seeing on Raw at the time didn't. It felt like this is legitimate. These guys hate each other. They're gonna beat the crap out of each other, and like. I don't know. It was so gritty and so different that I think
that's a good word.
It was bound to change.
Gritty. Yeah, definitely a good word.
Sure.
I mean, there was a mentality from the start that guys, and I couldn't tell you how it started, but it just everybody that came into the company, it just had a mentality that this was something like you say, real or hard hitting. And people had that mentality when in the ring. They were going to go in there and put a show on for fans differently than what they were watching on TV at the time. And everybody had that mentality just to go in there strong and hard, and just that old school wrestling tough guy way of thinking really really hit home in that locker room, and it just grew into it more and more as it went on.
Was there a time when you ever felt unsafe in ECW in the ring?
Every time I was in the ring with Terry Funk. It's funny. Well, it's not funny, but I mean, Terry is an absolute sweetheart. Great guy. Will do anything for you. Would give any kind of advice for you. Would sit and if you asked him to watch a match and talk about it afterwards, he absolutely would do it. But when he stepped through those ropes, and there was a switch in that body that he flicked, you're to stay the hell away and just do your job and don't try to upset him. And that's a shoot. I mean, he really, you talk about real. I think when he flipped that switch, he thought it was real and he was going to portray it as real. And that's the mentality he had from the day one of his career all the way through. He was something special.
Wow. And that's in that company. He was something special. So that's
definitely. A lot of people say he was the number one reason why it took off like it did ECW. He's definitely up there, definitely top 1, 2, or 3.
Sure.
Without that name and without that persona, who knows if it would have took off the way it did? But we were lucky to have him.
Well, you talk about his intensity. I know you're still close with Paul Heyman. I know you've kind of maintained that friendship with him. What is it about him in particular that had guys willing to run through a wall for him, even for little or in some cases no money?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, the last year and a half. I don't know how guys did it, but they were so entrenched of all these years, just busting their ass, and they weren't just going to let it go away. I mean, they were going to continue to work hard and present to the fans what they expected to come when they bought a ticket. But Paul, I mean, I've seen him, like you say, talk guys into a wall, off a roof, through a table. I mean, he just had something about him that was. You just got sucked in. I mean, you bought into his hype. The man can talk. The man could talk you probably into anything. But he was, again, something special to be around. What a mind for the business. Just a very, very interesting character in the world of wrestling.
Greatest wrestling mind you ever dealt with?
He's definitely in the top 3. I mean, Eddie Gilbert was really good. Unfortunately, with his issues outside the ring, probably really hurt him. Todd Gordon I don't think gets creative credit enough over the years. He's a pretty good mind. Joel was a good mind. Paul's probably one. I mean, I got lucky. Of course, Vince McMahon. I didn't work for him full time, but all on and off as the years went on, just another stratosphere, that guy. But yeah, Paul's probably top 2 or 3. Absolutely.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Now you mentioned Vince McMahon, and obviously he bought the rights to ECW and tried to bring it back, or somewhat tried to bring it back. Obviously, the one night stand, especially the first one, huge deal. And you were part of that historic moment between Rob Van Dam and John Cena. I think a lot of people, maybe most common wrestling fans today, would know you from that, I would think. What was that experience like, kind of being in that level, in WWE, but at the same time, kind of in ECW?
Yeah, well, definitely the first one night stand was more ECW than the second. The second one was more ECW, WWE. Too much WWE involvement for my taste, but the first one was a special night. The first one night stand. They probably should have ended it right there and not come back for a second one, but obviously Vince probably saw dollar signs, and we're going to do it again, and we're going to try to run this. That's the thing; it wasn't his creation, so he was going to try to run it his way. Whether he did it intentionally to run it into the ground, or he just didn't know what to do with it, believe that or not, with the mind that man has, like we said, he just screwed it up. But that was a great time. 2 great shows. Special crowd as usual. The Philly crowd and the New York crowd. Obviously, the New York crowd there those 2 times. Just the best between those 2 and Chicago. Probably the best 3 ECW crowds ever. Yeah, they were two special events, and I was happy and lucky and honored to be a part of it.
It was definitely a cool time, at least for like most wrestling fans. But I think after, when they started doing the weekly shows and it became clear that it wasn't going to be ECW, it's amazing to me how quickly it dropped off. I almost felt like it was a disservice to call it ECW. That's just my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah.
Actually, the first TV taping we did the second one night stand in New York. And that's when we found out that they were going to take this and make it a third brand for WWE. And I was invited to come back to the TV tapings that I think it was Tuesday, Tuesday, because Raw was Monday. We always taped at SmackDown, so it was Tuesday. In Trenton was the night that we did that first TV taping, and just from the get go with the zombie and with all this other nonsense that were tried, they just had. I honestly think they had no idea. They didn't know what to do, and this is what they thought version was going to be. And after that TV taping before SmackDown, they got us all in a room after that. John Laurinaitis was the guy leading the meeting, and with all the people that were under the ECW banner, all the old ECW guys and the new guys that they were inserting, he stood there and ripped us up and down for a show that we just put on that was terrible.
What?
And I'm thinking to myself, buddy, we didn't write that shit that you just put out there, and we did what we could do with it, and that didn't even save it. So, and that's right there is when I thought, here we go. It's never going to be their fault. It's going to be our guys or the old ECW guys, whoever they bring in to the new ECW, fault, or they don't know what WWE is or how to present a WWE ECW type thing. So, yeah, it was right from that get go. And in fact, that's the night they offered me a full-time deal after that. Right after that meeting, John called me back in and they offered me a full-time deal with WWE, and it just didn't work out.
I wonder why. After you just got chewed out.
I had two young kids at home, a full-time job that I was there 20 plus years, benefits, the whole deal. And the money would have been probably figured out the same, but all the other stuff just didn't work. And they were nice enough to tell me, anytime we're in the area, you're booked. Just come to the building and you'll work TV and work pay-per-view. Okay. So they were really, really nice to me. I can't complain at all. They really took care of me through that whole time.
Did you ever have any regret about not going full time with them?
The only thing I regret, I say this to my wife all the time, is and my son, who's really into wrestling now, is I didn't get that chance to work WrestleMania. That's the only thing in 38 years that I really wanted to be a part of was to ref a match at WrestleMania, and I probably would have ref that ECW match that was at the 8-man tag that was at that ECW, at that WrestleMania. So that's probably the only regret. I know this business. I never ever left my full-time job from the day I started to today. Yeah. I just knew how cutthroat the business was, and they could cut you at any time and not even think twice about it. So that's really the only thing I regret ever. Actually, anything in the business was not being able to do a Mania. When you're at work, do they know that you're the big famous Jon Finegan? Do they have any idea? Yeah, they do. I have a handful of actually wrestling fans that knew it, and
nice.
It's funny. It's so cool. My wife and kids always say to me, "Oh yeah, he's a big superstar," and just listen to him. Just listen to him; he'll tell you. I said, "No, I'm really not." I bust their chops. I will joke with them about it and all. And the joke in work is that I'm an international wrestling superstar, and I just laugh it off, and I think it's funny. But it's funny how people, even the people you don't know, watch wrestling, and they watch what's going on.
Well, I was thinking it was so funny, like even at the TWA reunion back in May, the referees from ECW had a table, and the fans were like all over that. I just thought it was so cool.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool thing. And what was even cooler to me, that was cool too as well. I agree. But what was even cooler was when Mania was in Philly. Jim Molyneux was trying to get me to come to the was it WrestleCon that they do, or one of the big whatever the big
Yeah, it was WrestleCon.
WrestleCon. He did the first. I think it was the all weekend, obviously, and he did it. He says you got to come, and I really wasn't bothered doing it. He talked me into it, so I came, and him and I did Saturday, all day Saturday, and I was amazed. People coming up to us from the United States, England, Australia, Mexico, knew us by name. Knew everything they needed to know about ECW. It was really, it was weird, but it was pretty cool that that ECW reached out to all those different areas that I wouldn't even thought of twice about.
Now, when you're walking down the street, would people recognize you from wrestling?
I get it at the Phillies. I work at the Phillies.
The Phillies, okay.
I see you at the game. Yeah, I get it at the Phillies. There's actually a lot of wrestling fans that work there that knew me as soon as I came in, and but I do get a lot of old ECW fans. Every homestand, somebody comes up to me and we talk ECW back in the '90s, and
that's funny.
It's pretty cool. Some people say to me, "Oh, I was afraid to come up to you." I said, "Anybody that wants to talk wrestling with me, I'm always willing to talk wrestling. Just come up, say hello, and we'll chat all night about it."
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And again, I mean, you're at these Phillies games. I guess it's the same community, really. It's that South Philly crowd.
It's. I say it all the time in interviews. It's that that South Philadelphia crowd, just Philadelphia in general. I'll say it. They're a passionate sports city, but they love their professional wrestling. There's no other like it. Maybe, like I said, New York is a close second. Chicago's a close third, in my opinion. But that Philly sports / wrestling fan, they're second to none.
Is New York the closest that you found to Philly as far as the fans?
Fan-wise, yeah, I think so.
Passion.
Chicago's right there too. I was really impressed over the years with the Chicago crowds. Man, they are rabid at shows. They are really involved. Very ECW arena-esque, like very involved, very knowledgeable about what's going on. But yeah, they're definitely my top three.
Okay. Now, once ECW started to slow down, you weren't really doing anything with WWE anymore. You definitely took to the indies. I mean, you were doing the indies before that, but between the TWA and World One and later ECWA, you definitely have been involved. I mean, how would you compare kind of those companies to the ride that you had up to that point? Like, how is it working independent like you're doing?
The indies are the best. I really mean that. It's where obviously everybody starts. Everybody gets their beginning in the indies. I really hope that people just continue to support them because you're looking at a lot of guys and girls that you're going to see on TV one day. I mean, there's that much talent out there. These guys. I mean, it's tough to do it. It's tough to get there. But there's plenty of talented people that eventually will, and you can say, "Hey, I'm the guy and girl that was watching them in a little bingo hall, for sake of another word,
right.
Watching them start, and hey, look at this! They're on a national television show or worldwide pay-per-view. The indies is where it starts, and everybody should know that and respect that. And I think anybody that gets into the business knows that. That's where you cut your teeth. That's where you learn. I mean, to this day, you never stop learning, but that's where it all begins.
I mean, we were talking before about how like WWE, they'll latch on to certain ideas that they didn't create just because they think there's a chance to make money. You notice today they have their own versions of independence that they run.
Yeah.
Different promotions. I mean, it clearly is something that's taken off. I remember a few years ago we did a Super 8, and I think it was the one. Yeah, it was the one with like Austin Aries and Tommaso and Adam Cole. Probably one of the better Super 8s that we had.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ice rink. And I just remember thinking these guys are going to be all over TV someday. And that literally is what happened. Almost just about everybody in that class got signed to one of the companies.
Yeah, and it's funny. Adam Cole and I still say that to this day. If I ever talked to him, I said to him that night at that Super 8, I said, "You are a superstar. I will be watching you on TV weekly before you know it." And him just being just an incredibly super nice just a nice guy and so humble. Just laughed it off, and I said, "No, man, you have it all. You will be a superstar in this business." And you're right. That class at the Super 8 was one of the best. I mean, going back to the Kettner Super 8 days, just think of all those guys that were just starting and now are all over television.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
like people
yeah.
criticize. Sorry,
No.
Like people criticize Super 8, and like most of them weren't names when they were in the Super 8. They became names after that.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean that tournament, thanks to Jim Kettner, was all eyes were on it when it was that time of year watching it. I mean, not just fans, WWE, WCW, AWA, whatever was around at the time.
Yeah.
They were watching it. I mean, they'd be silly not to if they're looking for more talented people. That was the tournament. Of course, now it's just not to diminish the Super 8. It's still a great night of wrestling, but everybody's doing it now. Everybody's got their different tournaments and stuff like that. So it's a little too much now. Maybe somebody's got to come up with a different idea. But that was it back in the heyday.
Well, I know like once Jim Kettner stepped away, probably like 2009 or 10, somewhere around there. I know you were working a lot with Joe Zanoli to help kind of pull talent, not just for ECWA, but for the Super 8s as well. What kind of like went into evaluating talent and deciding like who gets these like invitational nods? Like,
well, I tell you,
what were you looking for?
I got to take a nod to Joe on that. He knew, and still to this day knows what's going on everywhere. I mean, he watches matches and videos and TV tapes and whatever he can find. He was the guy that hunted these guys down and found them.
Wow.
And he would, he would say to me, "Hey, what do you think of this?" He'd send me this. "Hey, look at this." Same with Mike. He would just send it to us. And Joe was the guy that put that all together. He hunted down so much talent that probably people didn't even hear of. The Kakoas, the Ricky Martinezes. Nobody heard of those guys until we brought them in to ECWA and look at them all now. And that was Joe. Joe, of course, had the history with ECWA as a photographer and all the guys that came in and out of ECWA over the years at that time. He kept in touch with. He followed them. He watched where they were chaotic wrestling, guys like that. Joe, definitely, that was Joe finding all that talent.
Now, you mentioned photographer, and we were talking about him actually before you came on the air. This week, we lost George Tahinos, which is like huge in the history of wrestling, and obviously he was all over ECW. A lot of his pictures, I think, are like, when you think of ECW moments, a lot of those were shots that George Tahinos took.
There's a lot of pictures I have that were George. George was a great guy. I mean, I got pictures that I have copies of that were George's pictures. In fact, we had a running joke. I would post a picture, or somebody would post a picture, and he would say, "Nice photo," or "George's photo," or something like that. Never meanly. He always joked about it, and we always joked about it together. And I always said to him, "I didn't know you took pictures." And that was kind of our a running joke over the years.
Yeah.
But, tragic loss. Just one of the great, again, super nice guy who just loved the wrestling business and was very good at what he did to contribute to it. And he will definitely be missed.
Yeah, like you talk about, like photographers, they know where to be and when to take the shot. And like he was one of those guys. He was always in the right spot. It was amazing.
Oh, classic pictures. He would get classic shots.
Yeah. And you bring up like a nice picture or whatever. I can remember he used to put like his PayPal link or whatever it was on the bottom when he saw one of his pictures on Facebook. Yeah. I would love that. I thought that was great. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, he deserved it. Whoever was going to, he absolutely deserved it. He made you look better, and then that's something you definitely want to put into your library.
Yeah, for sure. Oh man, no, it's you're making me smile. I remember this kind of stuff. It's been a while. But no, that's fantastic. If you had it all to do again, would you have changed anything?
We Ryan and I just talked about this when we were taping for the. He was interviewing everybody for the TWA documentary that'll be out. I think May. I think that's what's coming. The and year anniversary of the one and done. And that's actually how he closed my interview. And he kind of got me all emotional about it because I didn't see that coming in the questioning, and it came, and I kind of paused and I said, shit, I mean, this is 38 years I've been doing this, and I've never had a complaint about anything that came to mind at the time. And to answer your question, I probably wouldn't change a thing. I probably wouldn't even take that WWE deal. I was just too smart not to do it. I mean, I just knew what the business was, and I don't regret that. And I'd probably do it all over again, exact same way.
Now, we really haven't talked about TWA at all. Obviously, it was huge, instrumental in influencing what became ECW that the fans all knew and loved. And you were part of that pretty much from the beginning, right? TWA.
Yeah, they won the last day. Yeah.
Wow. So what was it like working with Joel Goodhart? I mean, the young Joel Goodhart. Obviously, we all know the old Joel guy.
I always got along with him. He took such good care of me as well. Like I said, he was definitely a mentor of mine. Unfortunately, Joel, he always wanted that spectacular. It had to be huge. Everything had to be big, and that probably killed TWA for him. It's just spent money he didn't have, and probably could have scaled back on a lot of those shows with the talent. I mean, he was bringing guys in from soup to nuts of people that you knew in the wrestling business. I mean, it was cool for the fans to see it, but it wasn't cool for his bank account. And he probably
I'm sure.
Yeah, probably could have scaled some of those shows back, maybe spread it out or knocked it down to 2 or 3 on the show instead of 8 to 10 mega stars. And back that time, people were asking for crazy money, and most of the people were paying it. So that's probably didn't help. Captain Dave just popped up. Holy mackerel.
Captain Dave is here. You don't listen. You bring him out of the woodwork, John, for sure.
I haven't seen him in ages.
Yeah. But you know what? Like, so Joel, like, he was always kind of about turning heads, I mean, with the radio show and the promotion, and even like at the convention, like bringing in Ric Flair like that. Like he must have been, I thought he was out of his gourd for doing it. I really did.
That was a major, major mistake. Whatever you heard rumors of money that he spent, for the money that he supposedly spent, probably could have got 5 guys in there that people would probably be more interested in, and probably could have gotten in the ring and wrestled for you as well. Ric Flair I just did an interview last week, and they asked me who would I have loved to work with that I didn't work with, and it would have been Ric Flair. I would have loved to have done a Ric Flair match, but unfortunately, I think Ric Flair has way overstayed his welcome in the business. He's a shell of the person and the talent, obviously, that he is. I mean, he's got 9 lives, the guy. Can't believe he's still walking the earth. But that was a mistake, in my opinion, bringing him in. It was just a waste of money.
One of the fans wants to know, and obviously you're not best friends with Ric Flair, but you know a little bit more about him than most people. Ric Flair or Shane Douglas, your choice?
To work with, or just to
work with?
Oh God, I love Shane. Shane's one of my top 5 guys to ever work with. So
okay.
I would have had that. Like I said, I would have loved to have the chance to work with Rick once, but Shane was special. He's still a friend to today.
Was Shane the perfect choice to build the old ECW, the original ECW as it was? Was he the right choice to?
I think
kind of take it forward.
Yeah, absolutely. He had the whole thing. He had the whole Ric Flair. He will never say this, but I'll say it. He was just as talented as a wrestler. He was just as talented talker. He had the whole deal. He had the whole package. And at the time, he was definitely, I think, the choice to. You need a guy to talk in that position. You really need to talk people in and out of the building, and want to see the guy get beat or to see the guy win. And he was probably one of the best talkers in the whole ECW run. He was the guy to do it. Yeah.
Cool. Kathy, you had something for John.
I have an old picture, John, of you
there?
With hair.
With hair? I was just going to say with hair.
With hair. But after all these crazy years, knowing your family, I just want to say thank you for always being there.
Us cry.
What are you doing, Kath? Get a tissue. Come on now.
No, you've always been a good friend.
Toughen
So's
up.
your family.
I was just going to say, we've known each other, what, 87 probably?
Yeah, probably when you
87
started.
years.
Gotta be 86, 87. And
Yeah.
Okay.
Kathy's a sweetheart, and everybody knows that. And any bad publicity she gets from anybody is just ridiculous. The girl's a sweetheart. She's a great fan of the business. She's done a lot for the business herself. She's been in and out of a lot of companies, helping them out. She's always there to lend a hand, selling tickets, helping with bandaging people up. I mean, she's done it all, and deserves the respect for always being there for the boys and girls in the business. And she knows I love her. She knows she's a friend of my family and always will be. And thanks, Kath. I appreciate those kind words.
And when I was up at the convention, I saw Taz, and he asked about you.
Oh, Taz.
Oh, cool.
And I said, "Oh, he retired." Wait, no, he didn't. He's like,
it changed while she was talking to him.
That's right.
He goes, "Yep, he's still going."
He was actually one of the guys that actually messaged me when I announced I was going to stop. Him, Raven, Shane, just the guys I remember off the top of my head were nice enough to shoot Stevie Richards, shoot me a message and say thanks for always being there for us and working with us. And everybody had such kind words. Everybody was just so nice that whole time. That's why I feel bad about showing back up and doing it, but there's a little thing missing and for me to close it out. So I'll know what that is as soon as it comes about.
You get the itch.
Yeah. It's just it was more the disappointment, Brady. I was just I left that building in May that night, and I was just disappointed, and really was down about it. So we'll see.
No, I mean, all the best. I think it's great to have you back. You've been just John at the shows for so long that I forget how famous you really are sometimes,
I'm not famous.
For granted.
Yeah, I always wanted to be that way with people. I'm nobody special. I'm a guy who loves the business, who's lucky enough to do a little something in it all these years, and I'll always treat everybody with respect. I mean, I expect it back, and I would treat anybody the same way I would want to be treated, and especially guys I work with, girls I work with, the fans. I mean, without the fans, there is no wrestling business. And if you can't give 30 seconds or a couple minutes to somebody who was nice enough to come up to me, who the hell wants to come up to me and talk to me for a couple minutes? And if anybody's cool enough to do that, I'll sit there and talk to you all night. And I think that's lacking a little bit in the business. I think, I see some of their points with the guys waiting for them at hotels and stuff like that. It's a whole different ball game, but the fans pay their salaries, and I think it doesn't take only but a couple minutes to put a smile on their face.
Phil Sly wanted me to remind you that he paid your salary, by the way. I'm just kidding.
Where's he? Is he still around?
I haven't talked to him in a while. I hope he's doing okay. I saw
him at the Gloucester Outlets a year ago, maybe, but I haven't seen him in a while. Yeah.
I guess he was at the TWA thing. I did see him there. So
that's right. He was there. You're right. Yeah. That's right. He was there.
He was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But no. Well, John, I mean, for me personally, because like for me as a wrestling fan, I started doing all this in 2006, and you were one of the people that like you kind of, I'm trying to think of how to say this. You kind of taught me how the wrestling industry is. You taught me what you do. You taught me what you don't do. And, some of them were tough lessons to learn, but like, I think you're a resource on the independents today that like, I think a lot of people don't necessarily have because they don't have access to, being backstage in ECW or a bigger company like that, but like you manage to tie like the past and the respect and the history in with, everything as it kind of goes today. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like for me, it's something that I've always admired about you.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. There were lessons sometimes, but I mean,
it's funny. Joe Zanoli always ribs me about it that I'm too honest with people, and maybe a little too rough sometimes with my honesty. But nobody's gonna learn if you're bullshitting them. I mean, if you sucked, you sucked, and tell me why I sucked. If you were great, tell me why I was great. Tell me how I can be better. And that's the one thing. I may rub some people the wrong way with my bluntness, but I don't think you can learn. I mean, that's the way Dick Worley was blunt to me. I mean, he told me what I did and didn't do, and Joel and Todd and Paul, they didn't pat me on the ass and say good job if I sucked. They told me I sucked. So I mean, you got to be honest with people, and you're not going to learn. You're not going to learn if you don't.
Very good. Very good. John, I have a question from, and I know you've been on with us for a good bit now. I appreciate it.
No, as long as you want.
Okay. Well, let's see here. I might regret this, but Rat Boy has a question for you.
Oh, jeez.
We'll get him off.
Oh, my Lord.
There you go, Rat.
Yeah. What's up? How you all doing? I tell you what, Finegan, I got one question for you.
You said you had a question.
Yeah, where's the question?
Question is that, what do we have to do to retire you?
Well, I don't know. You probably have had that shirt for 40 years. I bet if I got a good whiff of that,
At least
I'll run out of the building if I see you.
Somebody put that shirt in his bag as a rib 50 years ago. He's still wearing it. Yeah. Yeah.
Is he back? Is he down in Florida? Or is he back here?
I'm up here.
Where are you this week? Okay.
Oh, you're still there. Oh, my Lord.
I'm in
he's up here now,
Jersey.
right? Yeah. You're in Trenton, right?
You're in Trenton?
I am in Trenton. I am in Trenton.
Yeah.
When are you going back to Florida? I'll buy the ticket.
I'm going back in January.
Good for you.
The problem is he can still call in.
Yeah, you know what you need to do. You need to visit. You need to visit Mike Tartaglia when you go down there to Florida. So he'll let you stay at his condo.
We didn't meet yet, but we've been chatting back and forth.
Yeah. Hey, you guys can.
Would you do?
Paper the town, the two of you.
Would you guys do like an odd couple? We could do an odd couple thing.
I think about 15, 20 minutes away from his house.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. All right, Rat Boy. We'll bring you back. Thanks.
Talk about. I mean, there's a guy. The wrestling fan in Philadelphia comes in all shapes, sizes, and you name it. Guess what? He's a character, but he loves the business, and he buys tickets and he comes to shows, and God bless him. Good for him.
In theory, he buys tickets. I haven't seen a whole lot of that.
I was trying to be nice.
He asks for rides. I will say that.
There you go.
Yeah. No, he's definitely a supporter. And like you said, the wrestling fans in Philadelphia, I mean, truly unique. So, John, you've lived the wrestling life, and we really appreciate your time tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime. It's like we said, it's been a while since we were trying to get this together, but yeah, it was great chatting with you. And anytime, you let me know.
We'll definitely follow up.
Cool.
Because I feel like we just touched on it, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
So, cool. All right, well, Jon Finegan, thanks so much.
If I don't see you, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yeah.
And
could I ask you for a favor too?
Absolutely.
Could we get you to record a bumper for the beginning of the show?
Of course.
Basically, just say, tell them who you are and remind them that they're listening in the room. Okay?
Right from here? Do it here?
Ready? We'll do it in 3, 2.
Hey, this is Jon Finegan, pro wrestling referee. You may have heard of me, maybe you haven't, but I'm in the room with Brady Hicks, and you should be in the room with Brady Hicks too, because that's where you learn a lot about the pro wrestling business. In the room, check it out.
Thanks so much, John. You're awesome.
Thank you,
John.
John.
See you soon.
Yes, see you, Kat. Take care, guys.
Take care. Bye-bye. There you have it. ECW legend Jon Finegan, ECWA legend, independent.